Hey everybody, this is Perch. I wanted to comment on a community post of all things, which is unusual. But if you haven't seen it, go on. And I don't know. I'm no longer sure where the attention of the quote unquote comics YouTube community is. I don't know. Are people paying attention to this stuff? Are they not? I don't know. People still seem to want to EFAP. I'm sorry, but I understand comment per frame. I understand what it means, but FAP had a meaning, has a very distinct meaning. if you're, I don't know if you're Gen X, if you're from that, I don't know. I don't know exactly what generation that belongs to, but it has a definitive meaning. And I don't want anybody fapping to my videos. I know it means something else now. Words change. Old man Perch, everything else. But, it's kind of if, there was a techie term that inbred meant, like reusing code or something. And people were like, no, what's wrong? Why are we struggling to say inbred? No, like we want all of our software to be written in inbred code. Nope. I'm sorry. I don't care. I don't care if it has a new meaning now. I don't care if it makes sound like an old man. I'm not going to go there anyway. Regardless of all that. So Zach, Richard from the Comics Matter channel, has been posting community posts on movies, and he's poking. You know what? I'm not going to pretend to understand the motivations behind it, but I agree with the the spirit of it, because it's basically saying, hey, it's starting to feel kind of silly. I'm paraphrasing here. When a bunch of 30, 40-year-old men, alpha men, men who regularly talk about how alpha they are bitching about, the Care Bears and the fact that it's gone woke at some point that stops being like a culture war and it becomes something else. My interpretation of all this. And so there's a post here. It says, then there's a picture of the Star Wars, I think, the director or somebody from the Acolyte, I don't know. For what it's worth, by the way, I haven't done a video on Star Wars for some time, which is kind of a clue as to my interest in Star Wars. I think, and to be entirely clear, I'm not one of these current people who lost interest in Star Wars. The prequel trilogy did a pretty good job of killing off the interest I had. I enjoyed it as a kid. I have very fond memories of going to see Empire Strikes Back. I remember going to see Return of the Jedi in the theater. It was a big event. As a kid, that was a big deal. And people are standing up and applauding. Like Luke Skywalker shows up on Tatooine, is dark robe look and everything else. Are like, holy shit. It was an event. It was a moment. I remember as a kid going out into the parking lot and imagining that I was flying the X-Wing fighter around in my mind. I was going to save the galaxy. I mean, it was great for me at that time. I was a kid. And then when I got older, I watched those movies again, and they hold up. They're like, a good sci-fi thing. It becomes like a staple. And then the prequel trilogy came out, and it's like, this isn't good. It felt like it had been Disney-fied at that point, which is before Disney really got involved, or was it? I don't remember when they came into the picture. But it felt overly cheesy. I don't know, maybe it's the best way to put it. It felt it didn't feel right. And so I was kind of mostly out at that point. And then when the last three movies came around, the first one, Force Awakens, wasn't awful, but still it felt like it was it felt like it was a nostalgia. It was like going to see Guns N' Roses in 2024. You might enjoy some of the songs, but the whole thing feels like a greatest hits collection rather than an actual new album or movie. And then what followed were just progressively worse movies, no pun intended. And then the shows have not caught me. I was not the massive fan of The Mandalorian. I did slip up in a video recently. I was like, people like Boba Fett. No, I meant The Mandalorian. Sorry. No, I don't know if anybody liked Boba Fett. But anyway, I was kind of out. And for me, and it goes a little bit to maybe what Zach is talking about here, is when I'm out, I just am out. I just, you've seen me do videos kind of bemoaning the X-Men and where it's gone, and that's because I'm still collecting. I'm still trying to kind of regain that property. But if something loses my interest entirely, down to zero, I don't. I stop investing a lot of energy into it. It just stops mattering. So anyway, there's he does this community post. There's a picture of somebody involved with the Acolyte here, short hair, glasses. It says his post says, I wonder if a Star Wars streaming show made by this woman, is woke. Better watch a 52-hour live stream to find out. Don't forget to pay a dude to talk to you. Government named Super Chats to make sure. Ouch. I'm sorry. That's dead on. Anyway, I look, by the way, several people are making their money. Obviously good friends with Wes. He has a channel and does stuff. And he does super chats. So nothing again, it's your revenue stream. I get it. At the same time, something about super chats bothers me at a core level. I can never do it. Not pay the super chat. I basically donated to channels that way to say, hey, thanks. I'm glad you're in existence. Here's money. You don't need to read shit. But here's some money. But I can't do it on my job. I don't know why. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody else. There's people come in with that comment every night. Perch feels he's holier than now. He won't take super chats. No, I just don't want them. Fuck. I don't like it. Something about it I don't like. Anyway, don't forget to pay a dude to talk to you. Government named super chats to make sure. That reminds me of Japan, by the way, of companion bars, where you basically pay somebody to come and chat with you while you drink. And it's lonely and sad. I mentioned this to very, very, very close friend of mine in Japan. I'm like, it feels lonely and sad. He's like, yes, exactly. And I'm like, but isn't that a bad thing? It's like, people need companionship. Anyway, he continues in all the uppercase, lowercase, which for the uninitiated means crazy talk. Zach, why are you attacking your audience? Because I see people losing the ability to enjoy anything but failure, and it breaks my heart. Okay. And that's the purpose of this video. Look, it's one of those things where I don't feel sorry for kind of mainstream Hollywood or a lot of these or comic publishers who've gone, gotten misdirected here. I'm not saying like, oh, we should feel sympathy for them and that their audience has turned on them. In many, many, many cases, not all, but, a strong majority of cases, the companies asked for it. They put out stuff that, 10 years ago could be excused as kind of a mistake. In 2024, can't be anymore. If you're going to talk about, hey, I hope those toxic men don't watch our movie. Why would you're asking for it? You're asking for a backlash. Plus, it's stupid. You want everybody, if anything, you want money from everywhere, and what better way to get money than from a bunch of toxic men? That's I suckered you into watching our movie. What good revenge is that? But so I don't feel sorry for it. I don't feel sorry for the big corporations by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not saying that you should deliberately go out and like, isn't it terrible that our culture is results of that? Please go out and give the Walt Disney Corporation some of your money to watch whatever they've vomited out this month. But please do that. You must do that. It's our civic duty to support the giant billion-dollar corporations. Absolutely. No, I'm not saying that. I feel sorry, for the fans who have gotten to this place. I feel sorry for the people who have seemingly lost the ability to enjoy things other than criticism. And that's, right now, when a movie comes out that's pretentious or, the director or somebody involved in it is a dick. Like when if the Snow White, Rachel Ziegler, if that movie ever does come out, people are going to, on the day of release, are going to get really excited. Not for the movie, but for the videos that bash it. People are actually going to wake up in the morning and be like, oh, I can't wait to hear Critical Drinkers take. That's what we'll get. We will get people who are very enthusiastic for the roast. And again, I'm not saying, hey, that's wrong, you should enjoy a roast. I'm just saying that we've gone from, occasional roasts. There's a reason why they don't do the celebrity roast or those shows every night. So it would get old fast. You'd burn yourself out of it. There needs to be some good content in order to make the roast hit harder. And I guess that's my point in all this, is you need to be able to enjoy something in order to, fully rip on something. If every comic under existence is bad and has been bad for 10 years, the destination to that point, to that event is apathy. It's hard apathy. And apathy doesn't mean you enjoy, criticism, you enjoy people roasting something. It means you don't enjoy anything about it. Good things, bad things, wonderful stories, roasts, none of it. It's just apathy. That's where it all leads. You do need to be able to take something out of the properties you're watching in order to, both enjoy them and also enjoy them when they fail, or enjoy, all that. But we have entered this new state where, people don't want things to succeed. They may say they do, like, I want comics to go back, or I want movies to just be like they were, or even like, I do want a good movie. But I'm not sure. I think less people want a good movie. Again, Disney's going to put out a movie, right? Doesn't really matter what. Doesn't matter whether it's a fairy tale reimagining, cartoon remake, Star Wars film, Marvel film, everything else. But for the sake of argument, because this is a comic channel, let's say it's the new Marvel film. Do you want it to be good? Really, in your heart? And be honest here. Several of you will go, well, of course. I of course I want it to be good. Are you a fucking idiot? I'm paying $12 for a ticket. I want it to be good. But there's a growing number of people who wouldn't even choose that if they had the choice. No, they might say, and there might be good reasons for it or bad reasons. It's too much. They did too many movies. They glutted the market. So now I don't want good films. I want it to end so we can get back to normal movies making. Okay, fine. It could be producers and some of the actors in that thing insulted me personally for who I vote for or what I believe, and so fuck them. I want it to fail. Okay? Could be lots of reasons, but still there is a tragedy there. The tragedy is, we don't get to enjoy things that we're losing the ability to enjoy them. The enjoyment comes in, having your negative feelings affirmed by somebody you pay $10 to. That is funny. He followed up with another post here that said, when the movie you were going, it is a picture of Nick Cage from Con Air where he's got this hair kind of blowing. He looks very satisfied with himself. He's EFAPing. Sorry, I'm just, we'll let that go. When the movie you were never going to see anyway, this is what the post reads. When the movie you're never going to see anyway fails, and the talented director who made it will never get a similar budget again, and half of Hollywood blue-collar workers are currently unemployed, but the executives you hate are all still employed and giving each other bonuses because they will handle the shortfall in revenue by cutting budgets for everything and spamming out a bunch of reality shows. That's what you call victory. And that one's more biting, for sure. But again, not wrong. I think for all of the attention on Kathleen Kennedy, Kennedy got her bonus. Kennedy's sitting very pretty. Kennedy, we've now had, since the creation of this channel, in almost video number 1 of this channel, I mentioned that, hey, the buzz on the street, the other videos, the other commentary is that Kathleen Kennedy is about to get fired any day now, and I don't think that's going to happen. Well, we're 5 years later. Kennedy is still there. Kennedy is still getting more money, more shares, more rate, doing just fine. The people who aren't doing just fine are a lot of the people, like mentioned here. Certainly some directors who never should have been put in that position in the first place, or writers who were hired for a variety of reasons that were not, skilled worker. And they're out of work, and, there's some karma to that, I guess, but seems kind of a shame that you had somebody who may have had some talent rather than put them into a theater learner program and get them to, increase their talents and get them to a place where they could actually direct a movie one day rather than just throwing them into the pool in the deep end. It's a shame we wasted potential talent there. Maybe there was, maybe there wasn't ever. But we also, we got set workers, we got stuntmen, women, we got all kinds of visual designers, all kinds of people who are out of work because of this thing. And the subject of a lot of the criticism lives on. I don't know. That doesn't seem fair, does it? Anyway, it is strange. We're living in a world now where there is so much, and this is maybe the right time to use this word, toxicity. And by toxicity, I don't mean you as a fan or you as a customer. I mean overall. I mean the atmosphere itself is toxic. It's toxic for new movies coming out. It's toxic for the commentary of the movies coming out. It's toxic for people in wanting to enjoy properties that they were, born and raised on. It is a point that often gets forgotten in a lot of videos. Look, the thing that Disney, Fox, Universal, Marvel, DC, all these companies desperately wanted to attract an ongoing audience. They don't want a one and done. They don't want you to watch one of their movies or read one of their comics and be done. Their goal is to make you a lifelong customer. It's a goal of almost every company in existence. They want you to be a lifelong customer. And actions were taken that blew that up. And in many cases, very much in an unforced error kind of way, it didn't need to be that way. The customers, the fans, in many cases, were clamoring for more, or were willing to overlook quite a lot of silliness in order to have some nugget of something they enjoyed. And in many cases, it's like the meme of the person sticking putting the stick into the bike spokes, falling, and go, what happened? That's how a lot of this went on. Studios decided, comic publishers decided to aggressively go after their customer base. You can't feel a lot of sympathy for that. But I do feel a lot of sympathy for the situation that's the overall occurred because of it. This isn't good. None of this is good. Maybe for the YouTube creators are getting super chats, but even there, I have to believe that's not a happy existence, I don't know. People are having a fun time. It's their lives. I could give a shit. It's not my life to run. But there should be more than this, right? And we should enjoy things. I think we ought to. Thanks for listening.